everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be the review of the Samsung Galaxy Ace. This phone doesn't really have like a very big history, or neither is it a flagship. It's just a normal mid-ranger from back in 2011. I somehow managed to get my hands on this phone and decided to do a review on it. So without further ado, let's get started into the video. So here's the phone, the Samsung Galaxy Ace. This phone was released back in January of 2011, and for some reason this phone was discontinued immediately within a month. So the lifespan of this phone was just 1 month. So that just shows us how this phone wasn't popular at all. Now as for the exterior of this phone weighs in at about 113 grams, which is pretty light actually. It feels like a toy phone to me now because we have all these huge phones right now. And just for comparisons, the Apple Watch Ultra here feels heavier than this entire Samsung Galaxy Ace. That's how much we have evolved over the years. So this phone weighs a total of 113 grams. And now onto the display of this phone. Firstly, let's unlock this phone to take a look at the display. As you can see here, the display is very reflective. And we can even see that the bezels at the side are reflecting the light above me, and it's actually like kind of like a mirror. Yep, low on battery, but let's just be safe and plug in. This is a 3.5-inch TFT display with a resolution of 320 by 480 pixels, and it approximately has around 165 pixels per inch. Definitely not a lot, it's very less, but it's a phone from 2011. As for the glass on top of this phone, it's Corning Gorilla Glass, and I don't think there should be an explanation for this. The platform that this phone runs on is Android 2.3 Gingerbread, as we can see here. And as for the chip on this phone, it's a Qualcomm MSM 7227 Snapdragon Series 1. Now that we have taken a look at the processor on this phone, let's play a game and see how a game performs on this phone. Actually, there are only two games on this phone, which is the Fruit Line and Piano Tile. I'm gonna go with Piano Tile. So Piano Tile is in, and I can see a lot of fingerprint marks on this phone. So let's go for Classic, and we're gonna go for the 25 one because I'm not really a good player in Piano Tiles. It's been long. I remember that Piano Tiles is you will just keep going and it won't pause and wait till you press it. So that is definitely a glitch in the frame rate. This mode is done, so we're just gonna exit for now, and we're gonna go to maybe arcade. And I don't know why, but we keep getting some kernel information, so like something like the internal informations. Oh, okay, there we go. Ah shit, there we go. I missed it. So yeah, we keep getting some like some codes which definitely are not meant to be here. Now let's concentrate on this game and see how the frame rates and how smooth it is. The frame rates on this phone are pretty smooth at least for this game. I think I'm probably getting around 20 frames per second on this phone. I guess I'm not really sure about that, but the frame rates are pretty good, at least for Piano Tiles, as I can see. And by just playing a few games of Piano Tiles, I can feel the phone warming up. So definitely not good heat management. Now as for the storage on this phone doesn't really have that much of internal storage. It only comes with 108 megabytes of internal storage and 278 megabytes of RAM. So that's how much it has. So everything on this phone lies on this micro SD card. Once the memory card is removed, there isn't any storage on this phone. So all the storages lie on this memory card on this phone. So once the micro SD card is removed on this phone, there is nothing much to do with this because all the storages lie only on the micro SD card slot, because technically there isn't any internal storage on this phone. I really wish I can play some YouTube videos to test out the screen and things like that, but whenever I try to go to Google, it just doesn't work. So let me just go and search YouTube like we always do. Well, YouTube shows up, and this is what we get. This device is no longer supported because this is running on Android 2.3, and the oldest software that is supported is Android 4. So YouTube just doesn't work on this phone. That's sad because I really wish we could do some screen tests and to do some speaker tests. I really wish, but that can't be possible because this phone doesn't support YouTube at all. And as for the camera on this phone, there's only a single rear 5 megapixel camera, and this camera has aperture of 2.6. It's just a standard 5 megapixel rear camera. Now let's try taking a photo on this. Here's the camera. We can see that the camera is really quite dark. The photos are really not good. So let me just try taking a photo. So here's a quick photo that I took of my AirPods with my MacBook in the background. And we can clearly see that this photo is definitely not the kind of photo you want to take. But obviously, this photo is the kind of photos you get in 2011. So usually if you want to get like the really nostalgic old views, like you can definitely use this camera. but do remember you need an SD card to keep the photos. And as for videos, it can shoot videos at 480p with 24 frames per second. And there isn't a selfie camera at the front, so there's only one camera, which is the rear camera. So if you want to take selfies, it's on the rear camera too. Now let's try out the speaker quality on this phone. I really tried downloading some NCS and it's not working. We're going to be going with ringtones. Let's play. So that is the speaker quality on this Samsung Galaxy Ace. The speaker quality might sound really fantastic to you because, like I always say, this is an enclosed area and the speaker will be amplified. But the speaker quality is really good. There isn't any distortion in the noises and the speakers are really working well. So that I really appreciate. Now on to the battery of this phone. As you all might have thought from the start of this video, why do I have a power bank plugged to the phone ever since the start? And the reason for that is the battery is just not working anymore, because the battery is actually really swollen. Let me just take it out and show it to you. Here's the battery on this phone, and if you put it to the side, we can clearly see that it's swollen. Maybe it's not that obvious in the camera, but when I touch it and feel it, it's actually kind of obvious that the battery is swollen. I can feel the bump here. Towards the middle, it's obvious that the battery is swollen, and so it's spoiled and it's swollen. But of course, these batteries are very risky to be used. I'm going to be replacing the battery very soon. As soon as I try to get a replacement, I'll get the batteries replaced. For now, I shall go in because this phone just doesn't turn on with power. So we're just gonna put it back in and close it here. And before we close, the SIM card tray is right behind the battery. There we go. The phone is boot up and we're back in. The battery is supposed to be a 1350 mAh battery, but I really cannot comment on the battery life of this phone because mine is a swollen battery and it just doesn't run. Either I plug it into power and use, or within 2 minutes the phone will switch off. That's how bad the battery is. I really gotta get it replaced fast. And as for the colors of this phone came in two standard colors, which are black and white. Other than this, they came in two other special editions, which is the Hugo Boss edition and the La Fura, if I'm spelling it correctly. So two other colors. So the standards were just black and white, which is not surprising for a phone back in 2011. So as for the price of this phone was one of the most cheapest phone. This phone was sold in 2011 for $140, 40 Singapore dollars. And now if you calculate it to inflation and stuff, it's around $180. This is what $200 got you in 2011. But of course, now we have a lot of phones for $200. You can get bigger phones with bigger batteries, with better screens and better cameras for $200. So now the usual question, was this review meant to buy this phone? Technically not, because I'm pretty sure no one is going to buy a $100 cheap phone from 2011 in 2023. No one is going to buy it. But revisiting these kind of phones from really 12 years ago really like gives all this nostalgic feel and really shows how much technology have improved. Before we finish off, I wanted to give a special mention to a very common app on this phone, which is the calculator app. This is the calculator app on this Samsung Galaxy Ace. The numbers are really fun and it looks more like a toy calculator than a real calculator on a phone, because the calculator apps on modern phones are really modernized. And if you compare modern calculators on modern phones, this looks really fun. Like the letters are really fun. There we go. I got another message to connect it to the charger, so I have to do it. These are like too digitalized. It does work, it has haptics and things like that, but the font of these numbers are really fun to play with. And so I just wanted to give a special mention to this calculator app and I felt that it required a special mention. That's been my review on the Samsung Galaxy Ace in 2023. Yep, definitely another video that no one asked for. I definitely know that this video is definitely not gonna give you this nostalgic feel when using this phone, because it's all on screen. So if you have the Samsung Galaxy Ace, try to use it, try to maybe charge it back and just try using it and see if you get the nostalgic feel, or if you're able to play some of those old games that you played when you were in school, or maybe you were using it many years ago. If you have this phone, then maybe you can try it out and you can try playing those games, and maybe for some of you might never know, there are a few photos which might give you some memories from this phone. So if you have any of those phones and you want to have some special memories which you're able to retrieve, of course do let me know your experience in the comments below. I would love to read them. And so that's been it. If you like this video, you know what to do. Click the like button, and click the subscribe button to show your support for this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.